Hello, I don't know about you, but I love peanut butter. And for me, there is no better peanutty treat than this, the peanut butter cup. It's perfect. So thank you, America, for bringing these to Britain. We love you for it. And to repay you, I am going to create the perfect vessel to launch these things into your mouth in the shape of this, the peanut butter cup cupcake. It's got a rich chocolatey base, a little peanutty surprise filling inside, peanut butter buttercream, peanut butter cup on top, and milk chocolate all around the edges. It is delicious. And I'm going to show you how to make it right now. To begin with, I'm going to make the chocolate chip cupcake. So to do that, I have one bowl here for my dry ingredients, and that begins with 140 grams of plain flour, followed by 185 grams of caster sugar. Next up, I have 30 grams of cocoa powder and 40 grams of chocolate chips. And lastly, I'm going to put half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. And using a whisk, I'm just going to mix that around until it's really evenly combined. And once that's done, you then need to mix your wet ingredients together. So in a separate bowl, I'm going to put 125 grams of buttermilk, followed by 120 milliliters of cold coffee. You can use instant or you can use brewed coffee, whatever you like. And next, I'm going to add 100 milliliters of vegetable oil. And lastly, one large free-range egg. And then using the same whisk, just whisk that all together until it's all combined. Okay, I've got my wet ingredients, I've got my dry ingredients, and now it's time to bring the two together. And once you've given it a really good whisk to combine, it's then time to pour it into a jug, and that's going to make it a lot easier to put it into our cupcake cases. And this is enough for 12 cupcakes, so I have a 12-hole cupcake tin lined with cupcake cases, and I'm just going to get pouring. I want to fill them up to about 3/4 of the way full. And these need to be baked at 150 degrees C for 20 to 22 minutes, or until a skewer comes out clean when you poke it in the middle. What makes peanut butter cups so delicious for me is the peanut butter filling. And it's got smooth, salty, nutty, it's got it all going on. And I'm going to make my version of that to fill my cupcakes. I'm going to use a food processor for this. You can use a hand blender if you want, but this is really, really quick and it does the job perfectly. So into that food processor, I'm going to put 125 grams of icing sugar, which I've sifted first. And I'm also going to put 125 grams of peanut butter. I'm using smooth, but you can use crunchy or whatever you have. And I have 30 grams of butter. I'm using unsalted butter. And lastly, about 1/8 of a teaspoon or a decent pinch of salt. And I'm going to pop the lid on and blitz it for a couple of minutes until it starts clumping together. That looks perfect. It's all kind of clumped together into a sticky mass. And now I'm going to put that into a bowl and just give it a little squeeze to make sure it's all one blob. So now I'm just going to put that to one side and wait for my cakes to come out of the oven. My cakes are out of the oven and they're cooling down nicely, so in the meantime I'm going to get on with making my peanut butter buttercream. And to do that, I've got 150 grams of softened unsalted butter, which I'm going to beat together with 80 grams of peanut butter. Okay, that's been beaten together for about 4 or 5 minutes now. It's gone really silky and smooth, and now it's time to add the icing sugar. And I have 340 grams of icing sugar. I'm going to add it in 2 stages, beating for a couple of minutes in between each stage. So that's been beating now for about 3 or 4 minutes, and it's looking really nice and fluffy, and it smells amazing, but it's still a bit stiff. So I'm going to loosen it up with a bit of whole milk, and I'm going to put 3 tablespoons, maybe 4 if it's still stiff. That is looking perfect. It's gone really pale and fluffy and smooth. So now I'm just going to put this to one side. I think my cakes are nearly done, and it's nearly time to get assembling. So to start with, I need to make a hole to put my lovely filling in, and I'm going to use an apple corer for that. You can use anything to poke a hole in. I like using this because it removes a whole chunk and then I get to eat it. And now that all my cupcakes have got holes in, I'm going to fill them with that lovely, yummy, peanutty, squishy stuff. So grab a little nugget and just fill your holes with it. Okay, all my cupcakes are filled with that yummy stuff, and so now it's time to decorate them. And I've got my buttercream here. Just going to give that a little whip. And I'm just going to use my little spoonula to ice these delicious cupcakes with this yummy buttercream. And then over here I have some milk chocolate which I've chopped up really, really finely, and I'm just going to roll the edges in that to create a really nice chocolatey crust. And lastly, I'm just going to cut a buttercup in half and put it on the top. And there it is, my interpretation of a peanut buttercup in cupcake form. I can't wait to see what's going on inside. Look at that, super rich, fudgy chocolate sponge with that delicious, smooth, salty, nutty filling and that really yummy peanut butter buttercream. I hope you have loads of fun making this, and if you've liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, then don't forget that you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on the link up there. Right, I'm going to finish icing these for the shop, so I will be back next week with another recipe. See ya!